Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again, and it's been a little while, but with Christmas break and all that kind of stuff, it's been a little busy the last few weeks, and dealing with a little bit of a cold as well. So took a little while to finally get back to a review, but I thought I'd do something a little different today. As far as I know, doing I guess research online and through YouTube and everything like that, this is the first time one of these particular rations has ever been reviewed. Couldn't find any pictures of it anywhere. Couldn't find any videos of previous reviews or anything like that. Pretty much no information at all about this particular ration. What we have today is a United Nations peacekeeper ration, but I guess what you would call a slightly older one than what we're used to seeing for anyone who watches ration reviews. This is from, I believe, 2011. The tag right here, so it shows July 2011. I don't know if that's the packaging date or if that's the, I guess, expiry date of some of the items inside. I guess we'll find out once we open it up and go through everything. But this is from a period of time when United Nations rations were actually produced in France as opposed to where they're made today, which is mostly in Spain. I have one of the newer UN rations right here. So as you can see, it says Western or Occidental once again. So it's the same type of ration, just a bit older and made by a completely different company. So some of the items that we're used to seeing in this particular ration here is open. I just haven't gotten around to reviewing it yet. What I'm going to find in here is probably going to be completely different from what we find in this one here. So if anyone's ever seen some of these reviews of some of the newer UN rations, and I know this one here is probably from like 2016 maybe, there's a very good possibility that everything we find in here is going to be completely different than what we're used to seeing. So as the older, or as the newer rations have, a menu designation by letter, and they also have different types. They have halal and whatnot, and vegetarian. These particular rations don't have any menu type. There's no like A, B, C designation or 1, 2, 3, whatever. All we have is a list of possible main meals, and then they just check off the 2 that they happen to put in there. So for this one, we happen to get cassoulet and lentils and vegetable stew. So a very French main, and they're supposed to be 400 grams, so very large portions. I'm going to assume they're in retort pouches. Who knows? They could be in cans. I have no idea. This is an incredibly heavy pack. It's in like this sort of wax cardboard kind of box, and a lot of other items inside as well. So I guess what we'll do is we'll crack this open and see the kind of items that we have, and then start trying some of it. It's just in this hard plastic. Get a better sense of the color now with the plastic off of it. It's got a bit of a slightly stale smell coming off of it, but I guess we'll see what we have. Okay, so that looks nothing at all like I anticipated. So what we have is our fuel tabs, our Esbit stove, and our matches. It's probably where we're getting a bit of a weird smell. These fuel tabs usually don't smell very nice. And most of this appears to be sort of more just commercially packaged items. So we'll go through that in a second. We've got a can of tuna chunks and vegetable oil. But now this is actually made by Jamipsa, which is what the company makes the newer rations. So it's interesting to have a Jamipsa item. 2 packs of crackers. Biscuits. And these are actually made by Jamipsa as well. So this company is a French company, but still seems like most of the items are actually made by Jamipsa. Got a packet of napkins, obviously. And then we've got our two mains, which happen to be in cans, which I wasn't anticipating. So we've got a can of cassoulet, which is white beans, sausages, and a few things like that. Normally, cassoulet is also supposed to have duck meat in it, but this one doesn't. And we've also got our lentils and vegetables. So these are made by a company. Oh, these are all made by Jamipsa as well. So yeah, this goes against completely what I thought this was going to be. I assumed this was going to be just a bunch of French items. Obviously, since it's a French packed ration. But I appear to be mistaken. So lastly, we have our accessory pack, I guess is the best way to put it. We've got what appears to be cocoa, a Lipton yellow label tea, 4 10-gram packs of sugar, 2 packs of pepper, and 3 packs of salt, instant half-skimmed milk powder, so this might not be good, an instant vegetable soup, Nescafe Classic coffee, I think it's an orange beverage-based powder, you know, isotonic drink, and a pineapple. And this one's leaking a little bit of powder, but hopefully it'll still be in good shape. And that's it. So this is meant for a 24-hour period, but, you know, it honestly doesn't look like a whole lot. I don't know how good any of this is actually going to be. Let's see what the expiry dates are. So yeah, this ration was actually packed in 2011 because we got an expiry date here of, if we can see it properly, July 2014 and June 2014. So these things aren't too out of date, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do all of this together. I'm not going to break this down into 3 separate meals because once you get past the 2 big cans of mains, there's really not a whole lot else to sort of deal with. So we're just going to run through this all as one particular meal, I guess, you know, one large sort of review. So we'll get this stuff laid out onto our tray in a second, and then we'll be back. Alright, so we got everything laid out. First thing we're going to do, seeing these are in cans, I really wasn't anticipating these being in cans. The best thing for me to probably do is to dump both of these out into some bowls and just heat them that way, I guess maybe in the microwave or something like that. So we'll go off camera for a second and get those started going and get those heated up, and then we'll be back. Alright, I tell you guys, this review probably doesn't hold a lot of promise is the best way to put it. I've opened both of the mains, put them in bowls, and they look fine, but if you could smell these, I don't feel like eating either one of them. They have this incredibly strong metallic, tinny kind of smell to them, and when that's happened, I don't think it bodes well. The cans weren't bulged in any way, but I mean, you know, they are a number of years past due, and yeah, I just really don't trust it. It's almost noxious as the smell that's coming off both of them. So we'll just leave them off to the side. Know that they're there, but this is probably going to end up being a very short review. We got a pile of glasses because we're going to need something for the cocoa, for the soup, for the tea, and for the 2 isotonic drinks. And that's probably what's going to take the longest amount to do now because we don't really have much of anything left after that. I'm really surprised there's no like jam or spreads or whatever. You get a lot of crackers. Obviously, I assume you're going to eat the crackers with the mains and the tuna. But speaking of that, I don't know how good that tuna is going to be either. But what we're going to do first is get some of our drinks going and our soup and whatnot. Get some hot water and some cold water, and then we'll be back. Okay, guys, so we got all of our drinks and I guess soups and all that kind of stuff ready. We've got our pineapple beverage base powder, our orange. We've got our vegetable soup, our tea, and our cocoa drink. And going through everything else, I'm not going to mix up the coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I don't feel the need to make it, I suppose. The only item in the entire case, the entire box, that actually is made in France is the skim milk powder. That's it. And I'm not going to mix this up because 7-year-old skim milk powder is not going to be very good. It already feels caked inside. I don't know the storage conditions of this, so I don't know how this is going to go, I suppose. Now, the best thing to do next is open up our tuna. All we have left is just the tuna and the crackers, and then we'll just try a few things. A very nondescript can with a ring pull, thankfully. And there's your tuna. Doesn't smell that bad, but I guess we'll see. And then our crackers. They're packed in much the same way as something like Hartkex from like German EPA rations, something like that. But then they also do look very similar to Spanish ration crackers. So it's just these little square crackers, fairly thick. And they smell very bleachy. Awesome. This is turning out to be a just absolutely fantastic review. Sometimes these sort of things can happen. You know, it's a ration from 2011. If that was an MRE or something like that from 2011, it probably wouldn't be that bad. But certain countries, the way they pack things and the quality of the items usually would mean if the items are of a higher quality, they're probably going to go bad quicker. So, you know, things like our cassoulet and our bean and lentil stew, vegetable and lentil stew, once they get past their expiry date, you know, they're not going to be very good. And these are 4.5 years past their expiry date. So those crackers, oh man, they do not smell good at all. I guess what are we going to do? We'll try one of them, I suppose, just for the sake of trying it. And nope, I can't even chew that. I cracked off a little tiny piece, and the minute that touched my tongue, the minute just that little snap there touched my tongue started to get a little numb and a little puffy and a little tingly. So yeah, we won't be going back to those either. So yeah, this is going to be an incredibly short 24-hour ration review. Let's just try some of the drinks, at least see if some of those are salvageable. This is the pineapple. This is the one that was actually slightly open, leaking some powder. These are only supposed to be mixed with, they said, 100 to 150 milliliters of water, so not a whole lot. And even with that 100, maybe 150 milliliters of water in that glass, it's a really weak pineapple flavor. It, obviously tastes like pineapple. It doesn't taste like, I suppose, artificial pineapple. It does have a very natural pineapple flavor. I doubt very hard that there's real pineapple in it, but it does at least have that sort of semi-natural flavor to it. We'll try our orange one next. This one's looking at least promising, and that just tastes like any standard orange beverage base powder. Maybe a little better than USMRE beverage base powder or electrolyte powder. I'd probably put it on the same level as the Canadian IMP Dr. Oetker brand beverage base powders. It's actually really nice. I'm surprised by that. We'll give the tea a final shake using our Canadian IMP brand new spoon. Let's give our Lipton Yellow Label tea a try. And that's just your standard perfect black tea. Nothing really bad you can say about that at all. Next we'll try our cocoa. I usually don't mix cocoa with hot water, but I thought I'd try it this time. I find if something's going to be gone bad, I've said this in a previous review a while back, if something is going to be gone bad, especially something like cocoa, using hot water really brings that out, so you know, I guess, quicker if it's going to be actually bad or not. doesn't taste horrible. It doesn't taste great either. Notice looking at the ingredients list, there's no milk powder in this at least, and there's no even milk substitute. It's literally just cocoa powder, and they put vanilla in there, and they also put cinnamon in there as well, which I found was an odd choice of an ingredient for a cocoa beverage powder. But that's sort of a mid-range kind of thing. It's not bad, but it's not good either. I don't know if it's just showing its age or what, but you know, that's it. And then we've got our vegetable soup, which is thickened up quite a bit. And even that's not great. That tastes like a you know, Lipton cup of soup kind of thing, and a Lipton cup of soup that's, you know, gone stale. That's the best way to put it. So yeah, I don't know how this was kept for the past 7 years or 7.5 years, but somewhere along the way, this went bad. I'm a little apprehensive to try the tuna. It's supposed to be chunked tuna. It's literally what the box says. Tuna chunks in vegetable oil. This looks like shredded, masticated tuna. So just give that a little sniff again. Ooh. Now that I moved it around a bit, that metallic smell is really coming through. So yeah, I draw the line on trying expired seafood. So yeah, that's it, guys. We had a few extra things. Don't really feel the need for salt or for pepper. Or, you know, if we're not mixing up the coffee, I'm not going to need the sugar either. I don't put sugar in my tea, so I didn't feel the need to do that. And I'm not going to mix up the milk powder either, because if all of these things are bad, this is certainly going to be bad. So everyone, this has been a very short review. I'm sure I'll get some complaints of like, oh, you didn't try anything. But if you could smell what I could smell here from these things, you just know right away it's not going to be edible. And that's really disappointing. Those crackers, oddly enough, are the worst of all of it. It's like, it's immediate. The only positive thing I can say about this is the tea and the 2 beverage-based powders. And that's about it. So that's kind of disappointing. So guys, this has been a very short look at a slightly older than normal United Nations combat ration, Western or Occidental, and it was produced in July of 2011, and produced in France. But as we've seen, aside from one item, every single item is created by Jamipsa in Spain, which is the, you know, who manufactures and creates the UN rations today. So a lot of surprises. I can certainly say this has been a disappointing review. Every now and then you're going to come across one of those where you had high hopes for things and then they did not live up to those hopes at all. So I was looking forward when I received this ration. I got it from a seller on eBay, who I believe is in Germany. I had high hopes for this. I was very excited, but the excitement is now dissipated quite a bit. I'll be coming back as quick as I possibly can. Our holidays are over now. This is technically the last day of my holidays before I get back to work after the weekend. So try as much as I can to get a few more reviews out somewhat quickly if my schedule works well. So, like I usually say, thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a good one.